Do you prepare employment-related settlement agreements for employers too? I'm Richard Hiron, also known as the Hironator, and I'm an employment law solicitor. A two-word answer to this is I do. The longer answer is that I qualified as a solicitor back in May 2016, so a good long time ago now, obviously with my training beforehand as well. And what happened in, well, I think April 2019 was I was made redundant and I went and worked in an HR consultancy that was a combination of employment law and HR specialists. So you had the HR people and you had employment lawyers there as well. And whilst there, I worked with a lot of organisations, schools, colleges, universities, banks, IT, manufacturing, a whole range of them. And one of the great things that I really loved about that experience was that it was best practice across the board. So it was being very precise about things, which was actually quite a nice combination of the HR side and the employment law side. So one of the things there was settlement agreements. Now, with those, every single time it was bespoke to the situation. So the document was made very bespoke to what was happening on the ground. And as an employment lawyer who also advises employees on settlement agreements, seeing a very general template that has not been made bespoke to the situation is annoying. I can think of one from recent times where literally the employer put a box, a literal graph in the document and said, if the employee is this, that applies. If they're this, that applies. And it's kind of like, make it bespoke. There is a human being here affected at the end of all of this. And if you are confusing them and you are confusing their advisor, then this is not going to be a quick process anyway. So it's always bespoke with me. It is much easier, it's faster, everyone understands, and with my background having worked with regulated businesses, I'm sure you can imagine that there is a lot that needs to go into a settlement agreement, particularly things like references. If you're working with a regulated business, they might have regulatory reference rules as just one example. So that's the slightly longer answer to essentially say, yes, I do regularly draft employment-related settlement agreements for employers to use in specific situations. And I don't just sit here going, oh, here's a template, off you go. So I hope that's answered the question. In the meantime, if you're finding drafting an employment-related settlement agreement hard, bring it to Richard.